How do you be a high value man? How do you level up from being okay to having more value in your life as a man? We're going to break that down right here on the Manlihood ManCast.
Warning, applying these principles may change your life. People will look at you differently. You'll walk straighter, live bolder, and find out who you are. This is the Manlihood ManCast. Here's your host, Josh Hatcher.
I'm your host, Josh Hatcher. And listen, we're going to break into some really great stuff in just a minute. But first, here's what I want you to do. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to leave a comment. I want you to share it with somebody. I want you to give me the thumbs up icon if you're on YouTube, or the heart emoji, whatever it is that you need to do to show people that you appreciate this content. Tell your friends. I firmly believe that what we're doing at Manlihood matters, and so we want to share it with as many people as possible. Also, feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Let people know that you like this. And don't forget to check out the Manlihood store, where you can get mugs, you can get t-shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now. You can also pick up copies of books that I've written. That's at manlihood.com/store. So let's get right into it. How can you be a high value man? How can you level up in your value as a man? And that is not a difficult question, but a lot of guys really struggle with this. A lot of people think, well, I'm valuable enough. Stop. No matter where you're at on the totem pole, whether you are at the bottom rung or whether you are doing really well, there's always room for improvement. There's always a place to improve and to get better and to do better things, right? So how do you level up? How do you become a high value man? A man who is going to be better for his family. A man who's going to be more marriable if he's looking for a partner to begin with. A man who is going to be more employable. All of these things that add value to your life. How do you find those? What are they and where do they start? The first thing that you need to do if you want to become a high value man is to recognize your innate value. You have value from the start. You were created specifically and uniquely to be who you are. That value is in you. Whether or not you believe in creation as I do, I believe that God made you and put a purpose inside you, right? That's what I believe. And we could talk about that. If you ever want to know more, feel free. Hop in the Manlihood Man Cave on Facebook and ask questions. If you're like, I don't understand any of this God stuff and I want to know, I guarantee some of the guys there would talk to you about it. Somebody might say, oh, I don't believe any of that. That's fine, but look into it, okay? Because recognizing that innate value, that's where it comes from. But here's the thing. Even if you don't believe in God, look at philosopher and science writer Carl Sagan. Even if you don't believe in any of this God stuff, look at what Carl Sagan, the philosopher, said. He talked about the cosmos almost with almost a divine language, and talked about how a man needs purpose and how purpose is written in us. So even if God didn't poof and make you on the sixth day, which is what I believe happened, even if that didn't happen, look at all that had to happen. Look at all that had to happen for you to exist. All of the things in the universe that had to come together in order for you to exist and be where you are right now. There is purpose in that. There's a reason that you're here, and that gives you value. You are not just a penny. You are a $100 bill, man. And where we need to go from here is, how do we take that $100 bill and how do we make it a $1,000 bill, a $10,000 bill, a $1 million bill? How do we level up? So starting by understanding that you have value in you from the start. That's where we start. And the next thing you need to do is to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. So that can be in the form of education. So let's say I want to be a better man. So maybe I'm going to invest in myself. I want to educate myself. So maybe I go to college or a trade school, or maybe I read a book and teach myself, or maybe I take an online course, or maybe I go to a church and I sign up for a program where I'm going to learn some things that are going to help me, or whatever. Education is how you grow, how you learn. and it adds value to you. If you know more, you are more valuable. So we start with education where we learn information and we find some ways then to apply it. And that is going to make us more valuable. Yes, you have that innate value. How do you add to it? By what you know, what you learn. And you get that in you by investing it in you. What else can you invest in? Skills. So everybody has natural talents of some kind, whether you can sing or whether you can write, or maybe you are a really good spatial learner and you can see how things fit together. So naturally, you're pretty good at mechanical things or building things. That may be something that's innate in you, maybe a gifting, you could almost say. But the skill is how you use it, and any skill can be learned. Now, if you pick a skill that is a craft that you already are naturally good at, you're gonna go further with that skill. But anybody can learn a skill and can put in the time. They can invest in the time to learn that skill and get better at it. I know that I am not an appliance repair guy, but there has been times when I was broke and didn't have any money and I had a dishwasher or a washing machine that needed to be fixed. So I got online and I invested in my education and I looked up my model of dishwasher, and I learned by watching YouTube videos how my dishwasher works, what's wrong with it, and how to fix it. And then I spent the time to learn how to do it, and then I practiced it by taking my dishwasher apart and fixing it. So then I started to build a skill. I want to tell you, I'm at the place now where I've got a little bit of money, and I would rather pay to have it fixed. It's not something that I like to do or enjoy doing, but it is something that I know that I can learn to do. Whatever it is that you want to learn how to do, you can learn it by educating yourself, and then you can get good at it by honing that skill, putting it into practice, trying it. And any skill, anybody can learn, and anybody can practice. So if you add skills to yourself, you become more valuable. All of these, if you have skills, if you have education, if you have knowledge, these things will help you get work. These things will help you provide for your family. These things will help you help your neighbors, will help you with all kinds of things. Take the time to develop your skills so that you can become good at them. If you have skills that you have and that you're good at, get better at them, because that also levels you up. How else can you be a high-value man? High-value men have integrity. And integrity is also something that it grows in the bank with interest. Over time and with practice, you get better at it. Nobody is perfect right out of the womb. Nobody is perfect because we make mistakes early on and we don't always do the right thing. And so we have to grow in our integrity. So if you want to level up, start making changes in the decisions and the actions and the behaviors that you do. Start changing the way you think so that the behaviors that you do line up with your principles and with your values and what's right and what's wrong. Integrity makes you more valuable. Because I'll tell you right now, a lot of places that are hiring somebody are going to hire somebody based on their integrity, more so even than their skills or their education. Some places want that. They want to know that you have good character before they know the rest. They say, you give me somebody with good character, I can teach him every skill he needs to know. I do know that a lady is not looking for a man who's really good at doing all the wrong things. A lady is looking for a man who's going to be a good husband, who's going to be a good father. She wants a man of integrity. So become a man of integrity and invest in that integrity and work towards building that integrity up. Everybody likes to say, well, I'm a good man and I have integrity. Really? Honestly? Let's honestly ask that question of ourselves. And if you're not sure, ask some people to be honest with you. Ask some people to tell you, how am I doing? How am I on my integrity? And ask some people that you know aren't going to tell you what you want to hear. Because just me saying that, already you're thinking of those people and you don't want to ask them because you know. There's somebody that you've messed over. There's somebody that you've let down. And there's somebody that if you ask that question to, they're going to be real with you. And you're going to have to say, I'm not as good as I thought I was. I have some work to do. The next thing that'll make you a more valuable man is personality. Now, a lot of us like to think about personality as something we're born with, and we don't understand that personality is something that we can invest in and something that we can work on. If you are just a dud, if you are not interesting, it will make it harder for people to see your value. Now, I understand that some of us are more introverted. Some of us are more extroverted. Some of us like to be in front of people. Some of us would prefer to be in the background. I get those are all parts of your personality. There are all kinds of different personality traits and different personality types. Fully understand that. But make sure that as you use your personality, that you use your personality in a way that adds value. A lot of times I think we fight against ourselves in this area. We say, well, I'm an introvert, so then we don't spend any time with people. Okay, so how do we make this work? We say, well, I just don't like to do that. I'm not into that. I'm not about that. Okay, how do we use this to our advantage? How do we use this in a way where we can grow in this? How do I become better at being me with this personality that I have? Because as you are interacting with others, as you are interacting with yourself, as you are doing the things that you do and thinking the thoughts that you think, all of that wraps up and it's heavily influenced by your personality and the way that you operate and the way that your brain works. And if you know that there are flaws in it, start working on it. If you know that there are things in it that are just not quite where they need to be, or if you're rubbing people the wrong way, or if you are not being open to other people or even understanding other people, start working on that. Which honestly is kind of related to my last point that I do believe that all men really need to be if they want to be a high-value man, and that is compassion. I know in this man space, this manosphere, as we call it, of men's blogs and men's writing and self-help for men, all these things that we talk about, we hear all kinds of guys talk about how you want to be alpha and you want to be the top dog and you want to be fierce and you want to be a warrior. Yes, I won't deny that you want to be some of those things, but you also want to have compassion. You want to care about other people. You want to care about other people's needs. You want to care about other people's concerns. You want to be a good listener. You want to be someone who puts others before yourself. You want to be someone who takes the time to understand what's going on in someone's life. Right? Because if you don't, then you're just a butthole. And that's not high value. That's like the least valuable part of me is my butthole. The most valuable part of me is the part that I want people to see and know, right? So I want to be more like that. I want to have compassion on people, and I want you to have compassion on people. And that can be hard if some of these other things aren't lined up right. So you may have to learn some skills. You may have to have some education. You may have to work on your personality so that you can be more compassionate. But I'm not going to lie. This is really, honestly, probably the most important thing that you can do to be a high-value man is to have compassion. Your wife needs you to be compassionate. Your children need you to be compassionate. Your neighbors need you to be compassionate. I'm not talking about an emotional wreck who cries at everything. I'm not talking about being an emotional wreck who cries at everything. I'm not talking about being someone that people can walk all over and use and abuse. I'm talking about being someone who cares about what's going on in other people's lives. And if you do that, and if you live your life to serve and to help and to look out for others, you will become a higher value man by default. And in fact, a lot of these other things that we talked about will line up within that. Be compassionate. Anyway, I hope these things help you. I hope they help me to be a better man. And if there's anything at all that I've told you that helps you to be a better man, I'd love to hear about it. Please go to our private Facebook group, the Manlihood Man Cave. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of those places. And let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Please give me a shout out. Tell me what you think. Share this episode with your friends. Invite them to the Manlihood Man Cave and check out the Manlihood store. I love you guys. I care about you. And I'll see you next time. Hey man, I see you. I see your fire going out. I see your marriage barely holding on. I know you're broke, wore out, and at the end of your rope. I've been there. It sucks.
sucks the spark right out of you, till all you have is a pile of wet wood. It feels like it's never gonna burn. I can't fix your problems. I can't make her love you again. I can't lose 50 pounds for you or fill your bank account. But I can remind you of who you are. I can share some of my fire. I can help you make a plan to get your life back on track. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's reignite our lives. There's a lot at stake. No one wants their marriage to end in divorce. No one wants to wallow in despair or to the dark places that follow. So let's do it. Let's reignite our lives. Let's reignite our passion, our marriage, our health, our career, our dreams, our mindsets. Get reignite today.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. And you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood ManCast, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. This episode is produced by Hatcher Media for manlihood.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to the show. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood ManCast.